Now to the first detailed public look at Donald Trump's tax returns made public by the House Democrats earlier today after the former president kept them secret for years. CNN national correspondent Kristen Holmes takes us through these documents and what they revealed.
Little or no income tax, foreign bank accounts, and eyebrow-raising details about loans to his adult children. Just some of the findings after the Democratic-led House Ways and Means Committee released 6 years' worth of former President Trump's federal tax returns. The returns spanning from the year Trump announced his first run for president, 2015, through his last year in office, 2020.
The research that was done as it relates to the mandatory audit program was non-existent. The tax forms were really never audited.
Previous reporting from the Joint Committee on Taxation revealed shockingly low tax amounts paid by the former president, including paying only $750 in 2017, and in 2018 and 19, paying a combined $1.1 million, and paying no income tax in 2020, his final year in office. Trump offsetting his income by claiming millions of dollars in losses, raising questions about the former president's business failures. And while Trump paid less than $1,000 in U.S. income tax in 2017, the former president's tax bill totaled nearly $1 million in foreign taxes the same year, indicating notable business dealings in more than a dozen countries, including Azerbaijan, Turkey, China, Israel, and Brazil. Shedding light on where Trump's business interests were while he was in the White House. The returns also showed Trump maintained foreign bank accounts while serving in the White House, including in China. Some of Trump's business spending raising eyebrows among experts, including a 2017 claim that one of his businesses, DJT Aerospace, made exactly the same amount spent, the zero net ensuring there was nothing to tax, something one tax expert referred to as a, quote, statistical impossibility.
My personal tax returns, which show only that I've had tremendous success.
Trump blasting the release as an outrageous abuse of power and calling for Republicans taking control of the House to immediately investigate Biden and his family's finances.
It's so sad for our country. It's nothing but another deranged political witch hunt, which has been going on from the day I came down the escalator in Trump Tower.
And another thing to note here is that this appears to be a major failure on the part of the IRS. Remember, there is a mandatory program that is supposed to audit presidents of the United States. And as we learned from the House Ways and Means Committee, that was not done during Trump's tenure. So some of this could have been caught, Wolf.
You're absolutely right, Kristen Holmes. Thank you very much. Let's discuss what's going on with CNN legal analyst Carrie Cordero. Carrie, thanks so much for joining us. You look at Trump's major business losses, potential discrepancies here for auditors, foreign bank accounts, including in China, during his presidency. What stands out to you from these new details?
Well, I think, one of the issues is that the IRS has had this information for a very long time. It's just becoming public now. So I do tend to think that if there was going to be any kind of federal enforcement mechanism, that probably would already be underway. But it does provide a whole new level of transparency. The foreign aspect of it, I think, underscores the concerns that many in the national security community had when he was running for president and when he was president, that his foreign business dealings could potentially have impacted his decisions as president. And so the fact that he had business interests there, that he paid taxes to foreign countries, that he had tax bills to a variety of foreign countries with intersecting national security interests with the United States, certainly raises issues from a governance perspective, if not from a legal investigative perspective.
Carrie, how far do you think this will all go in holding Trump, a former president of the United States and now a current presidential candidate, accountable?
Well, I think that's really a political question, not a legal one, because the question is whether or not voters care that he, first of all, pays very much less taxes than many Americans, particularly 2020 paid no income tax at all, despite his extensive income and business dealings. But what it determines is whether or not people will care about this sort of issue in a way that they didn't in the prior presidential election. Going forward. And I think that's a matter that will just have to be determined for the political process as it plays out through the next presidential election.